Hello. Have I got this thing working? Hello. Have I got this thing working? Now I do. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to How I Overcame My Food Addiction and Lost Weight, Eating Powerful Food Combinations. Tonight, I got a special class for you. I am excited to talk to you tonight. We're gonna talk about weight loss in a very serious way tonight. Has it started? Yes, it's starting right now, Janet. I'm glad you're here. Hey, Katinka. Hey, Linda. Hey, Patty. Hey, Sarah. Hello, everybody that's joining us live on Facebook. I really hope everybody will get involved with class tonight. I want to go over a very, very important lesson. Maybe the most important lesson I ever learned when it came to the Shibboleth lifestyle, surely, but more than that, when it came to really committing and having a new experience, different than something that I may have tried myself in the past. I have sent out a text to, I don't know, maybe 1,500 people, inviting them tonight. If you got a text inviting you to class tonight and you join me in the Zoom room, welcome. I'm glad you're here. Hey, Leslie. Hey, Spencer. If y'all are joining me on the Facebook page, I'm glad you're here. I hope that I say something that will keep you on the Shibboleth straight and narrow, that will maybe get you to commit to something, anything. It doesn't have to be Shibboleth. The blessing I have for you tonight, it may be something else that you need to actually focus on and commit to and do better. But tonight, what it takes to be successful. That's what I want to really cover tonight, because all else aside, it doesn't matter what program you try. It doesn't matter what relationship you're in. It doesn't matter what it is that you think you want to do. If you don't practice these principles that I'm going to go over tonight, I'm going to tell you the chances of you being successful are slim to none. And I'm going to start out by telling you a little bit about me. My name is Jason White. I am currently 47 years old. My wife reminded me just the other day, because we are now even on the age scale. For a minute, I get to be 47 and she gets to be 47. Eventually, she will pass me in the age category again. But until then, we're equals. We're not equals. She's way better than me. I'm playing. The truth is, with 47 years, Blair, of being on this earth, I have learned a few lessons. A few. I don't claim to be a wise man. I don't claim to be a smart man. Maybe I'm maybe a little wise, but I don't claim to be a smart man. As a matter of fact, I think I am proud. I would hold myself to a very low esteem when it comes to actually being smart. But wise, yes. Right? Wise, yes. When I have made a lot of mistakes, and bless God and thank God, I've been able to live through those mistakes in order to learn from them. Now, I don't want anybody to think you've got to step in the hole and twist your ankle just to learn that when you step in the hole, you can or might twist an ankle. But tonight, if I deliver my soul to you the way I want the Lord to show up, I'm going to talk about Jesus tonight. And I'm going to talk about weight loss. I'm going to talk about Shibboleth. I'm going to give you a great deal. But the truth is, in order to be successful, if you want to get any kind of blessing from whatever it is you're doing in life, the first thing I want to do is start out by telling you about me, and then I'm going to get into that blessing. So I was born in Dalton, Georgia, a skinny feller. I was a fat baby. No, I think I was an average baby. I think I was about 8.5 pounds, which makes me about average. If Mama's watching, she'll throw my birth weight up there and embarrass me. I was born naked, just like the rest of you. And not long after that, I grew up. And as I was growing up, I had a lot of trials and tribulations. I'm a strong-willed person. I am also a very self-conscious person. I'm extroverted and introverted at the same time. I really, really want to fit in my, I'm just telling you things that I've learned about me over time. I really, really want to fit in. Anything that would make me stand out from the crowd, in my mind, was a bad thing growing up, because the things that I stood out with were usually things that got me, that got people laughing at me, not laughing with me. And I wasn't particularly great at many things. So as I progressed and grew through my life, I tried to get involved where I could, but kind of be in the background. And I found some things along the way. Don't get me wrong. I found some things along the way that I was good at and that I shined at, and that I was that I like to be out front on, and I like to lead on. But then there's a lot of situations, Meg, where I draw back, and I don't want to be the person that is leading in an authoritative way. I was a skinny kid. And when I say that, I mean all my growth spurt went straight up when I hit puberty, and I went from singing real high to talking real low. I mean, I did all that somewhere in my maybe 7th grade. My foot grew about a foot. The feet that I walk on grew that much in 7th grade. I was awkward. But my metabolism turned on. And it didn't matter what I ate, when I ate, or how much I ate it. I could not get bigger. So I couldn't do some of the things I wanted to do as a big guy because I was thin. Well, I'm going to say this. That was part of I started to not, I didn't identify as a skinny person, but I identified as somebody who I could work real hard to do something, but I didn't quite make it in my mind. I didn't add up to what I wanted to be. Right? I wanted to get bigger. I wanted to get stronger. I wanted to get faster. And what I got was floppier feet and taller. That's about it. And when I graduated high school, I can remember wanting so badly to be a 6'5" man that weighed over 200 pounds. And at 18 years old, that was something that I really desired to be, was full. I wanted my body to fill out. I wanted to be a manly man. I was not able to weigh over 200 pounds, no matter what I ate, until I was about 25. So I could eat whatever I wanted to. And when I was 25, I topped 200 pounds. And that means I was 201 or 202. Living life wide open. I was a successful young man, a hard worker. In other words, if I wanted to put some food on the table, I did. And my weight crept up on me. What does that mean? Well, my metabolism stopped being able to process 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 calories a day or a half a day, because I was working in the heat or in the mill or wherever I was working. I was a physical laborer, and I started getting bigger and bigger and bigger. By the time I was 33, I was over 300 pounds. And having low self-esteem and some issues myself, y'all bear with me. I'm just going to testify tonight. I had some issues with self-acceptance, the way I saw myself, the way I perceived myself. I didn't like myself skinny, and I didn't like myself to what I thought was fat. And it caused me to suffer some things like depression. Not to mention, when I made it into this obese state, I suffered from acid reflux terribly. I was always taking things like the purple pill, Nexium. I'm probably not supposed to mention things like that, but I was taking Nexium consistently, like every day. And if I didn't, then, if you've ever had to take something like that, you know what happens when you don't take your antacid consistently. But I found the Shibboleth lifestyle. And I'm going to fast forward through some of that stuff. And in this process of wanting to know who I am, searching for who I am, trying to figure out who I am as a kid growing up, maybe having some extroverted things about me and some introverted things about me, having low self-esteem, having a bad body image of myself as a skinny person. Fast forward that, having a bad body image of myself as a big person, really just I had a hard time. I still have a hard time being okay with myself exactly how I am. And that brings me to my lesson for tonight. When I started the Shibboleth lifestyle at over 300 pounds, I was broken, I was miserable, I was unhealthy, and I needed help. And what I did was I found a lifestyle, found a program, the Shibboleth program. This is Shibboleth right here, Shibboleth. I found the Shibboleth program at just the right time. Like God showed up in my life through other people who had lost weight on the Shibboleth program. And it was a God moment. It was a God moment. Only God could orchestrate things in this way. So I found this program, and the fella was very enthusiastically telling me that he could not tell me everything without me being in a certain place at a certain time. And when I got there, I was amazed to see the body transformation that he had, and I wanted what he had. But I had to be what? I had to be willing to do some things, right? These are the things that I had to be willing to do. And the first one, if y'all want to take notes tonight, I hope God will get this out to me. And then get it out through me. I had to be willing to surrender my control over how successful I was going to be. I had to be willing to surrender my control over how successful I was going to be. Now, Evelyn, what that means today is I cannot put all of all of my will, my wants, my desires, what I want to happen in the situation ahead of where it should be. See, I can't make fat jump off my body by willing it off of my body. Okay. I cannot make the scale go down faster than it actually is going down by willing it to go down. There are things I can do to expedite this process, but just because I want it, just because I aim for it, doesn't mean I get it on my terms. So I had to start out by admitting that if I was just going to do it my way, that it wasn't going to work. And that's what surrender means. It means that doing it my way doesn't work. I had to be defeated in that aspect in order to rise up and walk, right? Like Lazarus in the Bible, when Jesus says, rise up and walk. In order for me to rise up and walk, I had to be dead first. What I wanted, the way I wanted it, had to die, and then I had to be reborn again. And I would encourage you right now, if you're listening to me and you're thinking about starting something, anything, the first step is to get yourself out of the way and get God involved. I had to say, God, I've made a mess of my life up to this point, doing it my way, trying the grapefruit diet, trying the 3-day water diet, trying whatever the free thing is on the internet, going to every little free thing, or even the high-end weight loss clinic down the road, getting the shots, getting the pills, getting the powders, doing whatever it was, I had to say, God, I'm out. I want to cash in my chips. I want to bury. I want to give the headstone for the old me, and I want to lay it down, and I want you to be in charge. And that was just number one. So to be successful, I got to surrender. I got to get God involved. Once God's involved, then I got my spiritual help. I have my emotional help. I have my mental help. I have I have a friend that sticks closer than a brother. Never leave me, never forsake me. That's who I had to get on my side, because I knew, and you know, and I'm going to tell you right now, it doesn't matter what you're getting involved with. As soon as you get involved with it, as soon as you get committed to it, or if you decide to do it, then the world's going to come after you. So you need out of this world help, because the help in the world is designed already to pull against you. Then I had to be willing to make a commitment. Now, commitment's one of those scary words to a lot of people. A lot of people are scared of commitment. I don't want to sign on to do anything outside of just this much. I want all of the benefits, but I only want to make this big of a commitment. I want to try for 5 minutes a day, and all the rest of the minutes of the day, I want God to do all the trying, and I just want to be blessed. Okay. I want grace to be issued in right there. I'm going to try for 5 minutes. The other 55 minutes of the hour, I want God to forgive me for all my mistakes. And my 5 minutes count for the 55 minutes that God forgave me for, the way I did whatever I wanted to. That's not going to work. You're going to have to make a commitment. This is like going all in on the blackjack board. This is like saying, no, I'm not going to put a card up my sleeve. I'm not going to allow the deck to be reshuffled and me hold some winners in my up my sleeve, in my pants, in my hat band, whatever. You got to be willing to put all your chips on the table and be all in. See, the thing is, if you got God in your corner and you're all in, you're in the very best place you can be for God to use you. Yes, God intends to use you in your life. God intends to use me in my life. Okay, sure, we want to be a blessing to other people. We want our light to shine before men so they can see our good works and honor our Father which is in heaven. But that's not what it's about when you're trying to commit to do something that's good for me. What does that look like, Katinka? It looks like this. I am going to work on me for 6 months. Now, you might say 6 months. There's no way I can get my weight off in 6 months. Or 6 months, I just need to lose 5 pounds. Listen, I don't know how many people in my life I could draw a parallel here. I could draw a parallel of people that want to quit drinking. I can draw a parallel of people who want to quit smoking. I can draw a parallel of people who want to quit doing drugs. I can draw many parallels. But here we are talking about weight loss, talking about food. And it's hard to say, I commit to not eat for 6 months. That's not going to work. You have to commit to eat under the Lord for 6 months. You have to commit to to be real about this, a real commitment. Yeah, draw it up in writing if you have to. Title it to God. And then I commit to do this unto you. And then fill out that, listen, 6 months. 6 months of 6 months of dedicated weight loss to yourself. I want to tell you right now, Spencer, I want to tell you right now, Leslie, if you're still watching, you're still with me. If you commit to the Shibboleth lifestyle through God and to yourself for 6 months, if you've got 100 pounds or less to lose, you'll be surprised if you have any weight to lose at all in 6 months. Now, what do you mean to tell me you think I can lose 6 pounds or 100 pounds in 6 months? Without a doubt. I think everybody, if they really wanted to, and they really started where I'm saying, you surrender, get God involved, and then you be willing to make a commitment through God, to God, and to yourself with those two first steps, which are really one step, you will be on a different plan than somebody that is doing this as a punitive thing. You're not punishing yourself. God is not punishing you, and nobody else is punishing you by making you have to not eat things that are bad for you in order to have a life that you want to have. So getting that kind of thought out of our system up front, getting ourselves in line with what truly is our will in the first place. We want to be healthy. We want to be happy. I want to be happy. I want to be healthy. I want to like what I see in the mirror. I want to love myself. If I say I love God, but I don't love my fellow man, how can I say that God's in me? It's the same thing. If I look at myself in the mirror, that's my fellow man as well. I got to be able to love myself. I need God's help with that. That's where I'm going to get a little specific. So I've made a commitment and I've written it down. Evelyn, bless God, I've written it down. And Buffy, I have made a decision to that commitment. Not only is it between me and God, but it's between me and me. God can hold me accountable by talking to me through his Holy Spirit. God can hold me accountable by nudging my heartstrings. But you know what? I got a Bible verse for you. Got a Bible verse for everybody. I'll get to it in a minute. I'll tell you what I'm going to tell you. I'm going to go ahead and say it. It's James chapter 1, verse 12 through verse 15. Okay. James, y'all write that down. James chapter 1, verses 12 through verse 15. There's so much in that right there that pertains to what I'm talking about tonight. But listen, the second thing to commit to. Those two are first, right? God and commitment. Okay. But that's one thing. The second thing is gotta be different. I gotta be different. What does that mean? Be willing to be different. But Jason, I've got a birthday party. My grandbaby's got a birthday party. My son's got a birthday party. My mama's got a birthday party. Bless God, if I just focus on everybody else and all the stuff that's going on in the world, there's always going to be a birthday party. Y'all hear me? Can somebody say amen right there? There's always going to be an event. There's going to be a work outing. There's going to be a picnic. There's going to be an anniversary. There's going to be all of that stuff is not going away. So I have to be willing to be different. What does that mean, Jason? Be willing to be different. I got to be willing to go to the party and be different. I got to be willing to go to the store and be different. I got to be willing to go to dinner and be different. I got to be willing to go grocery shopping and be different. I got to be willing to be around my friends and be different. Only when somebody starts to ridicule you, only when somebody starts to persecute you because you are being different and you are acting different, will you know that you truly are being different. Just because you think you're being different, because you think you're doing things differently, if it's not showing up to other people, bless God, you probably aren't being different, neither am I. We got to be willing to be different. Okay. And I can go on and on about this, but I want to get through my list. Listen, how about this? You got to be willing to try new things. Now, what does that mean to Jason? Today, try new things literally means look through the Shibboleth library and find a recipe and try something. Okay. Because I've been doing Shibboleth for long enough where I've tried a lot of food that I used to not eat. Okay. But listen, trying new things really translates like this. Take a picture of your food. Weigh your food. Buy a tablespoon and a teaspoon and a food scale. That's a new thing. Listen, I promise you, I never thought about using a food scale when I was eating whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted, as much as I wanted. It didn't matter. Right? Read a nutrition label. That's a new thing to a lot of us. Right? Not just read the ingredients on a package. Not the name brand. Not the fancy picture on the front. Not because your friend said this right here, you got to try it. No, you got to try new things because your old things have to pass away. Right? The old things that we thought would work, even sometimes, this is hard to get right here, Becky, but look, sometimes we got to get rid of the things that did work in the past to find the things that really work today. Trying new things. I got to be willing here. Listen, this is number, however many numbers. I got to be willing to be prepared. Prepared, not prepared, prepared. What does that mean? What does being prepared mean? It means, Jason, if I've got to be willing to be prepared, then what about when I get caught off guard? If you're willing up front to be prepared, that means you're always looking forward. You're always looking forward. So you mean when I know I've got a lunch at noon at the golf course with the ladies, and all they're going to do, and we're all going to sit around. I'm projecting that I'm a lady. Because, well, here I'll be the guys with the guys at the club, and between rounds we're going to eat, and there's going to be this. Yes, I'm talking about you got to look past that, because if you know that's coming, your preparation is going to get you there. But what you got to do is you got to be prepared when you're on hole number 11, and what you thought was going to fill you up at the halfway point, when you get over there on hole 11, you got to have something. You got to be prepared. Yep, you got to have you some pickles. You got to have you some celery. You got to have you some jicama cut up into chips. You got to have your approved snack somewhere around. You've got to have a jar of peanut butter, or some peanuts, or some almonds, or some cashews, or whatever it is that you got prepared for yourself for when you're not prepared. You got to be prepared. You got to be prepared in the spiritual sense too. If you know you're going to be around things, foods, people, influential things, whether they would be influencing your nose because it's going to smell good, whether it's going to be influencing your eyes because it looks good, or whether it's going to be influencing your heart because everybody else is lusting and falling into deep sin over here, what you would perceive yourself to be in deep sin if you were about wrist or elbow deep in the cheese dip at the Mexican restaurant. You got to be prepared. You got to be prepared mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally. I would suggest a big prayer meeting with God before things of that nature. Maybe every day, if you're as bad off as me. If you're not as bad off as me, at least a good prayer session when you know you're going into a situation where several hours are going to go by when you don't have the accountability of somebody to smack food out of your hand or so forth. Be prepared. You want to be successful? You're going to have to be willing to persevere. Perseverance means when you keep trying, when it isn't going your way. Perseverance means when everything doesn't line up just the way you want it to, you don't say, well, I'm not going to do it today. I'm just going to do it tomorrow. No, that's the easy way to start doing what you used to do. What I used to do is I would say, I want to stop drinking, but I really think I need to have a drink tonight. Tomorrow I'll stop drinking. Let's flip that on its head. I'm not going to have a drink today. Tomorrow I'm going to start drinking. When you wake up tomorrow, it's going to be today again. And you just say, I'm not going to have a drink today. Tomorrow I'm going to start drinking. We've got to learn to turn some of these things that used to hurt us on their head to where they'll help us. A cigarette smoker doesn't quit smoking cigarettes and smoke every day. In the same sense, somebody who's trying to change the very fabric of their nutritional program or deprogram the very fabric of their nutritional program must learn to set a new system in place and do it with, especially 1000%, especially when it ain't fun, when it ain't easy, when it's not going my way, when it's not going your way, when it's not going our way, when you're fussing with your husband, when you're fussing with your wife, when you're fussing with your kids, when somebody comes, when somebody goes, when somebody dies, when things break, we have to persevere. We have to keep trying. When it's not going my way is when I have to bear down the hardest. Now, why am I harping on perseverance? Because about 20% of people, maybe less, let me change that. Georgiana, 10% of people quit when it's hard. 10% of people quit when it's hard. 90% of people quit when it's easy. 90% of people quit when nothing's wrong. 90% of people quit when things are going well. Why? Because it's so easy to keep. Well, I'm this so easy. I'll stop today and I'll start back tomorrow. Poppycock, you won't start back tomorrow. You'll start back on Monday. Well, today's Sunday, so Monday is tomorrow. Bad lesson for this little spot. But the truth is, that's the devil's way of getting inside of my thinking and saying, no, I don't think I'm going to be surrendered today. I'm not going to be surrendered today, Buffy. I'm taking that back. Instead of letting God be involved and just continuing to rely on him, I think today, since things are going so smoothly, I know I committed to 6 months, but I've been good for 3 days. I think I'll be all right if I slip up just a little bit. 6 months is 6 months. 4 months is 4 months. 3 months is 3 months. Whatever it is you write out in your contract to God, I hope that you learn how to persevere. Because until you show you through that commitment and that surrender that you are worthy to do whatever it is you told you were going to do, then it's going to be a reoccurring, listen, this is so hard for me to say to myself and to others. It's going to be a reoccurring exercise in failure instead of a reoccurring exercise in success. Now, the Shibboleth program has all kinds of things built into it that say you don't have to be perfect all the time. But bless God, I want to tell everybody here tonight that may be like me. I have to be perfect for such an amount of time that I learn to get past that roadblock of faking it just so I can go back to doing what I used to do. I'm going to be good so I can go back and be bad. It just doesn't work that way for me. And it doesn't work that way for almost anybody I've ever met, ever, anywhere at all. If you want to have a lifestyle, if you want to take your diet and flip it on its head and make it the way that you live, then you've got to love to do the thing that's good for you. And you've got to enjoy the thing that's bad for you, but know that it's bad for you. You got to look forward to it in a way that says, I'm going to enjoy it because I'm going to get back, because when I do, I can get right back to doing that thing that I love, that thing that is good for me. I have to go back to that thing that honors, listen, that honors my Father, right? That honors my Heavenly Father. Keep trying when it isn't going your way. Then I have to be willing to be kind. I got to be willing to be kind to myself. You may say, well, what does that mean? Well, how would you want someone, how would you be kind to somebody, right? Think about that. Think about that. Has somebody ever been kind to you? Be that to yourself, right? Extend yourself kindness. What does that look like, Jason? It looks like this. I want to give up, right? I want to give up. I've had a bad day. I'm going to be kind to myself. Jason, you're better than that. Don't beat yourself up. Don't give up. Because you really don't want to hurt yourself. Is it kind for me to work really hard to achieve something? And then is it kind for me to say, let's just knock 2 days worth of that work out? You deserve. No, I have to learn how to be kind to myself. A lot of us have a hard time with it. I may even have, this may be the least effective part of my speech tonight because I still have a hard time verbalizing it. Be kind to yourself. And then you have to be critical as well. I have to be willing to be critical. Now, what am I being critical of? Your program. What program is that? Well, if you'll do what I want you to do, which is join Shibboleth. Why? Because it's the only God-centered, Jesus-centered weight loss program that I know of. It's the only one that would give me the reins to this big of a platform where I could talk about Jesus and how easy it is to forget what I want and what I selfishly want and I selfishly need for myself, and to think bigger. What does he want from me? That's being kind to myself. Listen, I've learned to be critical of myself. What does that mean, Janet? This is what it is. This is what it is. Did you journal today? Did you drink your water today? Did you do your best today? All of these things can have yes answers. But until you learn to criticize yourself, we'll always be looking out at everybody else. Katinka, we'll be looking at everybody else and saying, this person's doing this. And look, it'll come back and gets me every time. I'm looking at everybody else being critical of them. And then I start saying, well, they're all doing terrible and I'm doing good. I feel like I can lay off a little bit. Be critical of what? Ourselves. Right? Am I staying to my commitment? Did I talk to God today? Did I eat unto him? Did I prepare my food in such a way to where when I go wherever I go, I know I can stay on plan? Have I done my meal prepping? Do I have water set out for me where I'm going? Listen, it's a continuous relationship with God the Father when you surrender your will to make sure that the critique is what? It's a reflection. I want to critique the person I see in the mirror, not the one that's outside of me. Be critical. Now, I got to be willing to celebrate. Now, what does that mean? To me, this is what that means. That means being to say, hey, darling. She says, yeah, what is it? We're having a thin crust DiGiorno pizza. Want to have one of those? Oh, yeah, we're going. It's going to be good. That's celebrating to me. I could eat DiGiorno pizza every night. I won't be as successful as I want to be. But look, if I've been successful all week, nothing wrong with me fixing me DiGiorno pizza and having 2 slices that fit under my hands, no bigger than my hands. And I can even, if I'm not on challenge, I can have 1 extra piece for my snack for the day if I want to. 3 pieces of pizza. See how big my hands are? Good. That's good eating right there. Now look, you got to be willing to celebrate. I don't just mean the DiGiorno pizza. You know this. This is what I mean. You got to be willing to celebrate the perseverance. You got to be willing to celebrate the criticisms of others. You got to be willing to celebrate your perseverance through the hard times. You got to be willing to celebrate the commitment you've made to yourself. You got to be willing to pat yourself on the back when you do good, just in case nobody else does. Because that's not always the way it goes. If you want to be successful, you got to be willing to ask for help. Got to be willing to ask for help. God will show up and help me. But I have to be willing to ask the people that God puts in front of me to help me. Does that mean that I ask people to not eat this or that in front of me? Maybe it does. Maybe it does. But I think more in lines of it, it means this. You hit the chat feature on the website and say, I can't find something, give me some help. You go to info@myshibboleth.com and you send in a thing that said, Jason was too long-winded Sunday night and it got on my nerves. How can I go to class where he wasn't being long-winded? You do what you use the tools that are set in front of you. Mentor.genbook.com, help, I've fallen and I can't get up. You ask for help. Ask people that are doing this thing with you to help you. The people who are influencing you in a negative way, ask them to step aside or give you a break. And if they don't, it's okay. Alice, it's perfectly okay to say, look, who am I saying this to? Number one, me in the mirror. Look, Jason, you don't have to put yourself through that. When it's time for everybody to eat, retreat to your prayer closet. Retreat into yourself. Talk to your Father. Get centered on God. Get back in the game when you feel yourself centered again. Ask for help. And lastly, you got to be willing to study. You got to be willing to learn. If the first thing we're going to do, Becky, is get rid of this idea, this notion, and it's a false idea and it's a false notion that I would ever get to a place in my life where I needed help and needed to do something different, to where I actually thought when I got there that I knew what I needed. You got to be willing to study to learn the things you don't know. You got to be willing to learn how to keep doing the things you've learned better. This is not something that you learn one time and it's just programmed into your brain. Now, it may be that it is programmed into your brain, but it won't always just be programmed into your natural ability. And I say your a lot, I mean mine. I'm talking about me tonight. I have to always be willing to learn something new from myself, from others, especially from the people that are doing what I'm doing and that are getting better and better and better at it. Now, I ask for some questions. Please tell me where to find this recording. I have to list this off, and this is answer to prayer. Oh, I got you, darling. We'll get you a recording to it. It's no problem. Study and learn. I want to tell y'all this. I'm going to go back to my little Bible verse, and I'm going to tell you about a deal, and we're going to be done for the night. James chapter 1, verse 12. Blessed is the man, I'm going to say the man and the woman that endureth temptation. You want blessed. The Bible says blessed a lot. Now, this is James talking. Jesus said blessed a lot, right? Blessed in the Bible means rewarded in a positive way, right? Cursed means rewarded in a negative way. Listen, I'm going to tell you, rewarded in a positive way is the man and woman that endures temptation, not the one that gives in to it. They're not blessed. They're not rewarded in a positive way. When temptation comes and you give over to it, you're not going to get a reward. I don't care how much grace is extended. I don't care all of that. That is wishful thinking. That may be the way we want it to be after the cards have been dealt and the hands have been played, and we look at it from the but Buffy, when we look back after it's over, we look back and we say, man, I am blessed. I didn't really lose. I didn't put all my weight on it. That's not blessed. That's just lucky. Rewarded in a positive way is a man or woman that endureth temptation. Listen, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Lord has promised to them that love him. I got to get in a love relationship with the Lord. I do. I got to surrender my way. I got to get into a love relationship with him so I can receive the crown of life. Now, maybe in a heavenly sense, we're talking about a crown of life that's there in heaven, crown that we don't see, but I don't want to look at it like I want the crown of life. I want to have the crown of life when I'm alive. Why else would it be called the crown of life? It would be called the crown of death if it was somewhere in heaven. Crown of life is when we're able to trust in the Lord, commit to the Lord, put our good works together, do what we say we're going to do, say what we're going to do. That's when we get blessed. Listen to this. Let no man say when he is tempted, I'm tempted of God. God thinks I'm strong. He's trying to make me practice patience. Be prepared. You will have to be patient. The Lord's going to grant you mettle. He's going to grant you heart and integrity and drive and grit. That's what he's going to do when you have to be patient. But patience is your virtue, not his. Listen, for God cannot be tempted with evil, neither tempteth he any man, but every man is tempted. When is a man tempted? When is a woman tempted? When he's drawn away of his own lust or her own lust. When the jelly donut is sitting over there, when I got a birthday party coming up and everybody else going to be having birthday cake and ice cream, when he's drawn away of his own lust and what? Not just drawn away, but enticed. That's right. That's when lust is conceived, right? So I start thinking about having a bad eating episode and doing the wrong thing long before I do it. That's when the thoughts, the emotions, the bad, all of that part starts gurgling up inside of me. And I forget about my weight loss program. I forget about my diet. And all I'm thinking about is what? I'm thinking about whatever that thing that's just been born, right? And then it entices me. It says, ooh, woo. We got some special gourmet table grapes over here. Woohoo! These things so good. There's only one bad one in every 53 grapes. I bet you can't find it. Woohoo! Then, when lust has conceived, it bringeth forth sin, and sin, when it is finished, bringeth forth death. That's how diet dies right there, my friends. That's how commitment dies right there, my friends. That's how real people die, my friends. When the commitments that they know they ought to make or have made, that they know that are good for them. Some of them, the most important commitments that they could make, that I could make, the ones that I know are going to make me better me. They're going to make me love the person in the mirror more, make me understand the person in the mirror more, the one that makes me forgive the person in the mirror more, the one that makes me want to get closer to the person in the mirror more, right? Be kind. Those are the things that a committed, surrendered weight loss program will make you have. But like I said, this is going to translate with me and hopefully with you and a lot of people outside of the weight loss environment. This is a lesson in being successful in Shibboleth. If you will prepare yourself to be willing to do the things that I've talked about in tonight's class, tonight's lesson, then you'll be successful. If for no other thing, you'll be successful in your heart. You'll be successful in your life. You'll be successful in your relationships. And eventually, if you persevere, you'll be successful in your weight loss journey. You'll have to buy new clothes. You'll have to get rid of old clothes. They will use them old clothes to get back at you too. Listen, there's so much to do. There's so much to learn. There's so much weight loss experience in the Shibboleth lifestyle. I couldn't go over it in one class. So tonight, I'm just going to go over these benefits. in the things that that you must be willing to do if you want to be successful. Listen, I want to show you this, and then I'm going to let you go. If you want a lifetime membership to Shibboleth, you're going to want to go to shibbolethdeals.com. Does everybody see that up in the upper left-hand corner? shibbolethdeals.com. Somebody type it in the comment section on Facebook. Somebody type it in the chat in the Zoom room for Jason, please. Okay. And when I show you this, watch. Lifetime membership, $69, never pay again, one time, $69. But you see, there's only 464 left. Okay. The offer expires when there's 0 memberships left at this price. I'm not saying that someday in the future we're not going to have an awesome deal again, but there's no better deal than this. This is all levels of the Shibboleth program for only $69. Okay. And I've got 464 friends out there that are going to get this amazing deal. $399 value for only $69. Once you click view our special, there's some sign up processes here. I'm positive I'm logged in, so this is not going to be a good way to show you, but this is how you get in. Okay. Once you get in and you start making yourself a profile and you fill out all the lines in the referral spot, be sure to tell you or to tell us how you heard about Shibboleth. If it was your best friend, write her name in, his name in, your kid, if it's your boss, if it's somebody on the Shibboleth staff. Hey, listen, I try to tell everybody, if you looked up and just found this by accident, somehow you forgot, you even asked for those text alerts, or I don't know, somebody shared it on Facebook and it wound up in your news feed. Put Jesus in there. That'll work. Put Jesus in there. If Jesus sent you to Shibboleth, type his name in. We'll give him the credit, just like we'll give anybody else the credit. It's not about us. It's all about him. I hope y'all had a good night tonight. I'm excited about I'm excited about what life has in store for me, and that's different. That's different. Not always been that way, Patricia. I've not always been that way. But today, thank the Lord, I'm that way. Can we buy extras to give away? Of course you can. Of course you can. Yeah. All right. Everybody have a wonderful day. See you later, Facebook.